Hey guys, it's Sherri Somers. How are we doing today? Come on in, come on in. I'm so excited about this conversation we're getting ready to have. I want to make sure that you guys can hear me loud and proud. So I'm going to go ahead and just check to make sure that you guys can hear me and my volume is good. And I see Facebook said I'm in the room. I'm not in the room. So come on out the room. Join me. Tag your business bestie. Tag your friends. Tag your boss friend. Come on in the room. We're going to have this conversation. I have the beautiful Set for Increase, Kiwana Thomas. She is our financial strategist. She's going to be helping us. One of the books that I'm reading this month is about the richest man in Babylon. And it gave 7 principles of building your wealth. And one of the things it talks about is tracking your earnings. And it talks about how wealth is created. And I could not find somebody better who was one of my clients to talk about, because we talk about going to the next level in this group. And if you're going to go to this level, I want you to know it's possible. I want to bring on people who may have probably been in the same space as you, and they have elevated and they have applied the principle and how you can too. I'm going to bring her. She's in the back office right now. She's in the back room. And I just want to test to make sure my volume is good. So if you can hear me, go ahead and give me a 1 in the chat. Okay. I want to make sure. Go ahead and give me a 1 in the chat. If you haven't already, you already know, grab your Diva notebook and your diamond pen, baby, because we're going to get ready to go in. Your Diva notebook and your diamond pen. Welcome to Faith, Favor, and Finance. It's your girl, Sherri Somers, your revenue master life coach. I'm so excited to be here. If this is your first time here or first time inside of our group, tell us who you are. Tell us what you do. Thank you. Okay, how do I say Miss Williams? I want to say your first name wrong. Thank you so much for giving me that 1 in the chat. Tell us who you are. Tell us what you do. This space of community was cultivated for people like yourself, to where you can still love God and still enjoy the abundance and blessing unapologetically, where you can break limited beliefs when it comes to your finances, where you can charge what you think you're worth so you can do the things in life that God has called you to do, even in COVID. I want to be bold that I am still have a woman of faith, and I still want to make money at the same time. I am bold and unapologetic about that, and you should be too, because it's your birthright. So I have Kiwana. She's going to come in here and she's going to give us some principles and some strategies. And she's also going to tell us about her own experience and her own space of what she's dealing with. As you come in, go ahead and tell us who you are. Someone may be looking for you. Someone may be wondering what you do. I see a credit repair person is in the house. Yes, I see Jacinthia. I love that name, by the way. Jacinthia is a credit repair company. I love that. As you drop about who you are, tag your business bestie, invite him to the group, because this group is like no other. Why I love this Facebook group is it's unapologetic about breaking financial belief system, or getting financial literacy so we can grow our business. There are times where people try to motivate you and get you pumped up, but there's no revenue strategy with that pumping up, or you get the revenue strategy, but the mindset is not ready to receive it. So we try to bridge the gap inside of our group to give you the strategy, but also give you the biblical principle to back that strategy up, that you can have what you need. You already heard me say Ephesians 3:20. All you got to do is ask, and it shall be given. So a man think it. All you got to do is ask, and it shall be given. So I'm excited today. Thank you for telling us who you are, and thank you for telling us what you do. As you come on in, make sure you let everyone know who you are and the space that you're in. So go ahead. I'm just going to bring Kiwana in right now. Kiwana, you are getting ready to come in, and right here. And I just add you. Hey, Kiwana, how you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing fantastic, Sherri. How are you doing?
Now, let me say this. I want to be very clear. You are very, very busy. You are a mom, a wife, a full-time entrepreneur. So, I mean, with 4 kids. So I want to thank you. And I think it's 4, right?
Yes, it is 4.
Okay. I want to thank you, because I know you could be anywhere else and you take this time out to, matter of fact, you were on a call with a client and you to jump in here and give us a nugget. So tell us a second about who you are and what you do. What space are you in?
Okay, so I am Kiwana Thomas. Like the lovely Miss Sherri said, thank you so much for this time. I appreciate it. But I'm Kiwana Thomas. I am your personal finance strategist. What I do is I help you keep more of your hard-earned income by eliminating your paycheck to paycheck lifestyle. And I am specifically called to those people who have a burning desire, a burning passion to start in their God-given authority, but are frozen in financial fear. So I let people know, look, we're going to kick fear out the door this year because we
Hmm.
are rocking in our God-given authority and our God-given assignments as we work for the kingdom. So that is what I do. I love what I do, and I'm super passionate about it.
You know what, Kwana? And I'm gonna say you said something about kick fear because I Beyonce have this song that said fear can't go where I go, right? And
Right.
I love playing that song because one of the things that I want to talk to you about is as a Christian woman of God growing up. How often did you hear about money or making money in church? Tell us about your belief
Ooh.
system when it comes to money and also being walking by faith.
You know what, Sherri? You have hit a target for me that I have been in the word on this entire season. And because growing up in the church, often we find that either God wants us to be broke, He wants to
Hmm.
keep us down, He wants to keep us in a place where just enough is
Hmm.
okay. And I've had to struggle with that. I've had to struggle with knowing my worth, charging my worth. I've had to struggle with it's okay to make money off what you do. I mean, so I've really been in the word, praying, allowing the Holy Spirit to move within my life so that I can bless others. But you're right, growing up in the church, as great as it is, we always hear the blessings, but we don't understand how we are called to be the blessing.
Oh, I love
Everything
that.
everything that we have, it's to be a blessing. The money that we obtain, it's to be a blessing. So we have to go out and do certain things. And it's a whole mindset shift that I've been going through. And this is why it's perfect you bring that up. If I may mention, you brought up The Richest Man in Babylon. That book changed my life and it gave me the push I needed to start my own company. So when I heard you say you're reading that, I was like, oh my gosh, things are happening. But yes, so
I'm
that's just what I
excited
heard
for
growing up.
that.
Hmm.
Yes, I'm excited for that because I remember I started off in property preservation. And that's my space.
Hmm.
That's my jam. I love property preservation. That's where my entrepreneurship started when I left law enforcement or during law enforcement time. And I remember when I came in the space of a business coach, my struggle was I would give people the strategy, but the problem is they wouldn't implement the strategy. And I was making money from the strategy. I'm like, what's wrong with you? Why are you not making it? And I realized quickly that it was the mindset that they could not wrap their head around of the
Hmm.
strategy. And I went there too. I was talking last night on my live about how the fact that I had the same strategy, and my girlfriend in the real estate field gave me a USB port, and inside of the little thing, the port has all these marketing strategy and all these real estate strategies, lease option, wholesaling, all these tax liens, all this stuff. And Airbnb, before Airbnb even came something
So popular.
now
Hmm.
as popular as it is now. So I hold the key to over $1 million in my hands and did not know that I held that key to $1 million, right? So when my girlfriend, the Jackie Jackson, my real estate investor, my business partner, she said, do you know what you have in your hands? Because I got it from Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Poor Dad,
Hmm.
author. I got it from him from taking his Rich Dad school. I got it from their company, excuse me, from taking his Rich Dad school. And the guy said to me, says, I see you're going to do wonderful. I see you're going to be a millionaire one day. So I'm going to go ahead and pay it forward. And when I signed up for his $10,000 course, he
Hmm.
gave me a key that hold all this stuff. And my girlfriend, it had to be the one that opened my eyes and said, girl, do you know what you have? And now I have my own property, and you already know that because you take care of my finances and stuff. So you already know that, but it came from that. But I've been holding on to it for so long. I'm telling you this, and everyone else, and Stephanie, Amy, and welcome guys, and everyone who's on the sound of our voice, is I'm telling you this because you can have the key to the kingdom, but if you don't have the mindset or the belief system of how to reframe and use it, it's worthless in your hands, right? And the reason why we don't know how to use it is because our parents never taught us how to use it. Speaking of parents, Kiwana, you and I had a conversation in our 2K when we spoke about how often did your family tell you about did we see our parents' bank account? Do you remember that conversation?
I
We
do.
talked about how often did we see their bank account? Can you elaborate on that, on why you think that parents don't allow us to see their account, from a woman from who's in the financial space as yourself?
Yeah, I didn't start seeing my parents' bank account until they trust. Yeah, I'd already been doing this, but then they had to trust that I knew what I was doing before they opened their account. But growing up, I think we never see it because truly we never understand how it works.
Yeah,
let's just
exactly.
be really honest. I think we never understand how it works, and we're simply repeating the same patterns that the generations before us has been taught. And because we don't understand how it works, it's like it kind of can go back to that ham in the pot situation where I just do it because I saw grandma do it because she did it, but you really don't know why you operate in the way you do. I think that's just what it has a lot to deal with. And then we're all, Christians, we all go to church and we're taught to give, but we don't even understand how to apply the spiritual and the practical steps. It's like I'm giving, but nothing's remaining. I'm giving, yet I don't see increase. I'm giving, yet, is God not working for me? And then in some areas, people begin to doubt their faith. So they don't want to show you what they have in their account, just out of fear that they don't understand. And I'm praying, it's my sincere prayer and desire that we break those chains of generational curses, that more of us begin to stand up and walk in our God-given authority, because we are called to change worlds. We are called to change generations. And it all begins absolutely with our mindset. I mean, what we have the capacity to contain. Read those books, Think and Grow Rich, Richest Man in Babylon. Read those books because that is where a lot of wisdom flows. The word of God says there's nothing new under the sun. So once you start to go through and you read up on what our leaders have done, you actually get nuggets, and it unlocks, those treasures hidden on the inside of you to produce. And if I may go ahead and say this, I don't want to rush the conversation, but if I may go ahead and say this, having a job is there just to keep you chained to a desk or chained to being just over broke, in the words of Reverend Rita, just over broke. It's not until you unlock your creativity, unlock the treasure inside of you, that you begin to see increase. And then you have to get teachings on your mindset on how to handle the increase that you're about to have.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
Because it's here. Like, I know, Sherri, you did a live. Money is all around you. Consistently, money is around you. It's, are you going to grab it and capture it and put it on your God-given assignment? And I release everybody under the sound of our voice that capture all of that money, get with God about your hidden desire, your hidden talent, and go after that thing. Go put your name on that thing. Stop putting Jeff Bezos' names before your last name. Go hard in the area that God has called you to go in. Sherri, I know you have your questions, but I just get passionate about this thing.
I see. So let's walk people through your transformation, okay? So let's walk people through that, because I think for me, if it first start with your faith. That's why I create this group. Listen, guys, if you're not inside our faith, favor, and finance group, you may want to jump on in here. We are excited. We are talking about how to sell with confidence. We're talking to the beautiful Kiwana Thomas with Set for Increase. She is going to spill us the beans and how we can still love God and we can still be profitable at the same time. Now, here's the thing that I think that is important to me. I think it was when I left that space of hanging up my uniform. And when my son got sick and I said, okay, I need to make time. I mean, some of you guys already know my story. I don't want to take up time talking about that. But when I created that space of saying, okay, I got to be home for him. I just gave him a breathing treatment last night. That's just part of, the time. And I said, okay, I have to leave my job. Now, y'all, when I left my job, I got $7,000. But at that time, I was already behind on mortgage and car payment, right? And I'm very transparent. Kiwana handled all my money. So she know very well. So she know how well my faith is, right? So the first thing, ladies and gentlemen, if you're on the sound of my voice, the first thing, when you grab your Diva notebook and your diamond pen, the first thing I want you to write down is in capital letter is faith, right? Because faith gives you the perseverance to keep pushing, even when your bank account doesn't look like it. Now, I'm not here to give you this big rah-rah inspiration. I'm here to tell you that's why I created the group Faith, Favor, and Finance, because you can't get favors and you can't get finance if you don't even have that faith piece. You have to build your faith. You have to move from an elementary faith to a high school faith to a college faith. And faith is something you never master. It just how much do you have it? So now let's walk you, Kiwana. Let's talk about your experience, right? So we met at an event, and I remember we met at an event, and then you had a meeting with me, and I showed up at your office. So let's talk about that source. Don't give them all, because I'm going to go ahead and kind of go up with it. So what happened when we met and we're at your whiteboard? I remember that. We can start from there. Go ahead.
Oh gosh, y'all, let me tell you, if you have never had a one-on-one meeting with Sherri, that's something that you are never going to forget. She makes such an impact. So she had me at the whiteboard and she gave me this task. I told her, you better do this with everybody you meet, because it was so powerful, life-changing. She had me, she says, okay. I need you to list one by one everything you do. So, okay, I'm like, okay, I can do that. So I'm confident, I'm bold. I know I do this thing, so I'm listing what I do and I'm like, okay. Then all of a sudden I'm like, man, I'm still going. Her whole demeanor is like, wait, and you charge this, but you still writing?
Don't miss that part. I also said, now show me how much you make. I said, after all this list, that's list number one.
She's like, how much do you make? How much do you charge? So I put that at the top and we're just listing. And like she shifts and she changes and she's like, okay, but wait. Oh, but you're still going. I'm like, yeah, Sherri, wait, I'm not done. And through that process, it wasn't, because, the beautiful Sherri Somers, she already has the mindset, right? But some of us, like me, have to develop the mindset. And so as I'm writing with every line, let me not miss this, it becomes it becomes embarrassing. And I just have to pause for the cause, like you say, Sherri, because I kept writing. I don't even think, Sherri, I got through the list.
Of all the things you do for people.
It was, all the things I do for people.
Hold it right there. You're okay with writing all the tasks, all the value that you provide. But when you go to the right, this is what we say, write the vision, make it plain. That's what we say, to put the pen to paper. Because when you list out, even when we're doing our tax, or my monthly, every 2 weeks we meet together, and you're doing my income. When you see it, you may think you got $10,000 in bank, but when all the expenses come out and you see it on paper, it makes a big difference. That's why the Bible said, write the vision, make it plain, right? So you're writing this thing and become a reality to you, that you're giving you have all these results that you're helping people with. But then on the other hand, you still got to pay a light bill. You still got to pay a water bill. These people don't make their money back because of what you did, right? They don't save. You have a card, a bingo card, which I was going to ask you about it later, that they can save $1,600 following your strategy with that bingo card. But you're over here saving the money, but then to your right, you're looking like, how many of y'all can relate to what Kiwana is going through at that time, at that state? Give me a 3 in the chat. A 3 in the chat if you can relate back to feeling that same way. When you're putting it on paper and realize all the value that you're giving, and time, 4 kids and time, right? But in your head, it's like, I can't charge anymore. This is where I need to be. But you still got to pay light. You still got to pay water. You still got to pay all this other stuff. How do you, at that moment, how are you feeling? To walk us through that
Oh,
moment.
I have to share it because it's like, and it brings me to tears sometimes when I actually sit and think about it, because it was a gut punch from like my inner soul. How to see how much I value or did not value my own self, my own
Mm-hmm.
gift, and going through line by line, and then watching your face. I'm like, Kiwana, what are you doing? And I began to feel like I did not place value in myself. I felt embarrassment. I felt like I can't write anymore for this person because now I'm embarrassed about what I have to present. Now, I think that is different if Sherri, if you were not there in that moment, I think I would have still thought it was okay. Let me preface that too, because I think somewhere in my mind, I would have made sense out of what was going on as if it was okay.
Okay, exactly. Stop
Hmm.
right there. Yes, exactly.
Hmm.
We justify our reason for staying broke. There's a
Right?
difference between poverty and broke, right? We justify
Correct.
our reason for not moving forward. We justify our reason for not waking up early to go after our dreams. We justify our
Hmm.
reasons for not going to a job. We justify our reason for getting on a job and not asking for a raise. Justify our reason for not writing that book that's going to change people's lives. We justify our reason for all these different things because just so we can stay comfortable. And that is so true. And there are times where like you now have a husband who's still waiting to see the reap of your benefit of you staying out all this time, right? Because you're entrepreneur, 7 years, right? That's what. Go
Hmm.
ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna, and I didn't, because you're on it. But
Mm-hmm.
what I notice is we tell ourselves, at first we feel it, right? We feel it.
Yes.
But then we start telling ourselves, oh, it's fine. We cover up all that with it's fine, it's fine. And then we
God will
start to
take care of us.
believe the lie that we keep telling ourselves, that we forget that it's not fine. We forget like the struggle part that we're enduring because we, our own selves, cover up that with a word, I'm okay, I'm
Yes.
fine, it's all
Mm-hmm.
right. And then we only hear that part and forget it, and it's never fine.
And I think that the thing about it too, I have the thing about it. Christine say I receive it. Sherri say hi guys. She said yes, I break them. Yes, great words. Thank you guys for coming in here. I remember that I have been in that space as well because here's the thing: anything you're trying to birth or anything, and when you're trying to build, it takes
Mhm.
money to build it. Like it takes money to run this StreamYard to join here live. It takes money to every time you go away to do something or to impact lives. It takes money to go to on a plane to travel to talk to people about God. It takes money. So if in your mind you can't correlate how that is going to impact your life, that's a mindset. And
That's
that is
right.
the part we first have to get clear first is our belief system and our acceptance of saying this is a business. Gucci, don't worry about that, right? When they're taking your money. So now we're at the board, Kiwana, and now now is it okay for me to be
Oh yeah.
transparent? Okay, I'm
Oh
just
yeah.
making sure I respect what
Mhm.
you're doing, right? Okay, so we're at the board. Now y'all have to understand the people that I get. I get the people who don't have a plan B. Their husbands say, listen, if this doesn't work, you got to go home. Like you got to go back to work. If this doesn't work, I just got divorced. My husband, we're gone. If this doesn't work, this is all I got. The women that I get, the coaches, the consultants that I get, they're in this space of there's no plan B, right? There's no plan. If you're in the military, military don't have plan Bs. It's like, this is what we're going to do. So, and
Mhm.
I'm paramilitary from in law enforcement. So we're paramilitary, baby. This is it, right? And I'm going to be on you because I'm a high touch coach. So we at the board. Y'all, I came home and Kiwana wrote me this long this long message about her revelation, and I guess
Yeah.
she shared with her husband, your husband. I don't want to get into too much of what it was, but she wrote this revelation because she wrote it on paper and realized, like, oh my God, like I'm giving so much of my time. I don't have time for my kids, and I don't have time because here's the thing: in our 2K, we teach you a marketing strategy that is conducive to your schedule. So if you're in a job or if you're in some type of thing, we teach you that marketing strategy is conducive to your schedule. So now she's looking like, how much time is this business? Your goal is to work your business around your lifestyle, not your lifestyle around your business, right? Because your business is your purpose. We're not chasing clients. Clients should automatically come because of you're walking in your purpose. So anything you need to fulfill God's kingdom, whether it's resources, whether it's tools, that it will show up if you're walking in the spirit of awareness. And that is just so clear as day to me. That is just so clear of day to me. If you receive that, go ahead and give me a 3 in the chat. There's no such thing as chasing. We attract, we don't chase. Right. And I think when I got her email and I'm reading all this stuff and she decided, so Kiwana decided to sign up, right? So she decided to sign up for 2K. Okay. So now she is, after the revelations, she decided to sign up for 2K.
And I can talk about it if you want me to.
Go ahead,
I don't mind.
Okay.
Because I think it's not just for me. And we have to get out of thinking that, oh, this breakthrough to me. Okay, first of all, Sherri's the early bird. I'm the night owl. I'll go to bed at 4 a.m. Sherri, get up at 4 a.m. But on this particular moment, right after going through that process, God woke me up at 3 a.m. Get up, get your 3 a.m. I don't do that. 3 a.m. And he had a discussion with me about boss versus employee. And he said, I never called you to be the employee of your own business. And he told me I cannot use you without a team. He told me that, and what I called you to do should take your husband off of his job. It should take
hold on. I wanted to miss that. I call you to do what?
The talent and the gift I've called you to do should take your husband off of his job. That's the blessing. But I will never get there being the employee of my business. It was huge and powerful for me because God said, I cannot even use you. I'm the person who thought I had to do it all myself, everything myself. And he's like, I can't use you unless you get a team. You have to learn how to be the boss. And I just broke down. I was like, I never had anybody do that. It was so Sherri, you have to do that for everybody. And you have to be there. Because to walk through that and to have that experience afterwards, guys, I was in tears that night because I'm doing the work for the kingdom. I'm serving others. I'm pouring my heart out, my gift, my talent. But if you don't value yourself in this process, if you don't value, I'm sorry, Sherri.
I was going to point this out. Speaking of value yourself, the first part of The Richest Man of Babylon, the first part he says is to pay yourself first, right? Pay yourself first, no matter what it is. Pay yourself. You get a check. You get a client that paid for you. Pay 10% of. If we can't pay 10%, right? Remember, even on an airplane, it says put on your mask before you put on someone else's mask, right? So, but we were taught to take care of people first. We were taught and be that is made, but you first have to feel good and energized. And before I get on here, trust me, there was a meditation that happened. Trust me, there was a conversation with God that happened. My son and I just finished reading Life Purpose Driven book, right? So so before I got on here, there was before Michael Jordan go out to play or before anyone go out to, y'all already know how the Mamba mentality. Before we do all that, there was work behind the scenes of ourselves first that has to be dealt with. We go through the same issue that anyone else go through. So when God is laying on your heart that, and you look at it, you say, oh my gosh, I'm spending time with these people. I'm not making the money I want to make. I can't take my family on a cruise. I can't. And then here's the other thing too. You have to be willing to invest in the area that you have to go. Right? You have to be willing. If I want to move my business to a certain figure, because we said get clear on your wealth goals, I know I have to invest to learn at that level. Come on, to learn at that level, because that we understand the hoopla of write the vision, make it plain. We understand all that. But when it's time for us to activate the blessings of God and there's an investment, that's where we fall short. Right? So here's where we go. We go to the point where he says, you don't have a money problem. You have an idea problem. You have an execution on that idea problem. There's a big difference. There's a big difference, because ideas, this most important thing, that the most powerful thing that a human being have on this planet is their brain, right?
Exactly.
Is their brain. But executing it is a challenge. And here's where execution come in. You can't do it alone. You can't do it alone. So now she signed up. We have an assessment. There's an assessment that I give you that it's a powerful assessment.
Trust the process.
It's like, what happened when you signed up? What happened when you signed up? Okay, so you signed up, and we want to get to the money.
I signed up, and then I signed up and I got into agreement. I think that's first. I always teach people agree that the fact God wants you to make money. Agree that you are valuable.
Stop right there. You be saying some good stuff. Say, why not me? In the chat, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to write, why not me? Why not me? Why everybody else on social media can be looking at whatever, or why other people, why Lisa Nichols and why Steve Harvey? And I'm calling these people who are homeless. I'm calling these people who Tiffany Haddish. I'm talking about people who are just symptomatic people who had some situation, and because they believe in the process, because they had faith, because they walk in the process. So in your, say right now to me, why not me? Put that in the chat. Hashtag why not me? Right. Mm-hmm. So now I wanted to say that to you, because I wanted it to, before you get into that, because everybody feel like, oh, this thing is not for me, or we are ashamed of blessing. Because here's the thing, if you're ashamed of money, money will be ashamed of you. If you're ashamed, if you're saying that you want to make money, but you don't want to give it away, because if you're in my live yesterday, it doesn't make sense. Money's energy. So Sherri, I want to invest to learn how to make this. But I don't want to invest. I just want to learn how to make this. Then you the transaction and the energy, you break the alignment of what happened. You break the alignment. So let's talk about, you made a decision, your investment. You sent me this long text telling me about your life and how you confessed to your husband, and you don't know where we're going to do and what we're going to go with here, but you trust the process. And then what happened?
So I got into agreement. I'm like, let me just agree. I just agree, God, I'm valuable. I agree, God, I'm worth it. I already know I can bring it. Like, I can bring it like nobody's business, but I got to know it. I got to own it. And once I did that, within 7 days, my first 2K dropped. Within 7, it may have been, it's definitely within 7 days, my first $2,000 dropped.
And how long were you in business before that first scene?
7 years.
7 years. 7 years.
And let me even go to say 7 years and then 6 months, because before there was Sherri, I was praying to God about, Lord, what am I going to do? You gave me this wonderful office. You gave me this wonderful back space where I can have my own classroom, my own workshops. I don't have to ask for anything. But how am I going to provide it? How do I be a good steward over this? So I was already crying out, asking God, how? Then Sherri shows up. Then Sherri changes my mindset. I get an agreement with her about what in the world am I doing? And then the money comes. And that's Sherri.
We're going to stop right there, because we even get to the 7K yet. We even get to that yet. But now that's just a 2,000. Now, listen, y'all. Listen what she said. She said, I have all these expenses, right? So she's saying now she has a back office. She has all this stuff. She has all these expenses, but she don't even want to charge people, even though she has all these expenses. So, you know, it's the mindset. She has an office. She has light, water, Wi-Fi, I'm sure, you know, stuff like that. And this is not her house. This is a brick and mortar. This is a building. Office. It's a separate office. And she is worried about charging over $2,000 for her service when she has all these expenses. We're not even talking about the profit. We're not talking about the revenue. We're talking about just the expenses. Just the expenses alone is evidence. Abundance principle is, I seek to believe that money is all around me, and I seek evidence of what I believe. I seek to believe that money is all around me, and then I seek evidence of what I believe. So here's this woman have all this evidence that she need to charge more because her expenses is she's not making a profit, but the mindset is saying, no, y'all, if you can relate, tell me what the Lord is telling you to do that you still haven't done it yet. Write that book, go back to school, ask for that raise, get that promotion. What is that thing that has been laying on your heart since COVID and you have not summoned your order to go ahead and do it yet? Call it out, write it out right now. What is that thing that you know that keep bothering you? Because I remember when I was in that space of helping, y'all know my story, helping ex-offenders start their businesses when they're released. I'm like, dang, I can help them make money. I can help other people make money, right? Helping them become taxpayers again, and I'm like, okay, but I hesitated. And it wasn't until my son got sick, passing out on me, for me to use that gift and start doing it. It took something for it to happen. Now, some of y'all is taking COVID for it to happen. It's taking COVID. I don't know who I'm talking to, but it's taking COVID for you to wake up and for you to move. Because of COVID, you did what? Put that in the blank. Because of COVID, you were able to do what? One of the ladies said in the comments, she says, I had to get out of my own way. Because of COVID, I had to get out of my own way. So here she is. She finally decided to get out her own way. And her own way is her belief system, her mindset. She got out her own way. 7 days later, $2,000 is in her account. 7 days later. Because why not trust me? Because I didn't do it. I weren't there when she made the money. I was somewhere else. But just reframing off the mind. Not strategy, not system, not tool, but just showing up as is, believing that you can. Kiwana, that's another thing I want to talk to you about. Tell me about how you're marketing, because I'm always revealing stuff on here. Your marketing on where, because you came online when we started working with me. You were mostly doing local marketing. Tell me about that, your marketing strategy, because I know some of them want to know that as well.
Okay, yeah. So before I started working with Sherri, I think the only thing I did online, the only thing was a money challenge to get people Christmas savings up so that they can save $500. I came up with 30 days, $500 in 31 days. I think that's what it was. So we have Christmas money to spend for Thanksgiving. And it was so much fun, but then I stopped. And then that was it. And then
we can laugh about it now.
Yeah, we can. And then I met Sherri, and Sherri's like, so that's it? You didn't go live anymore? I was like, no, that was it. And she's like,
listen, I remember you're like, hey, I discover podcasts or something. I think.
Yeah, I was like, I could do like a podcast. I want to sign up maybe for this podcast class. Girl, you don't
remember,
even know
y'all. We were in a meeting. We're in like a mastermind group where we really didn't know each other at the time. And it's so funny because she was sitting there discovering things that I've already mastered. Hear the difference. With somebody around you, somebody who can help you is always watching you. That's a Steve Harvey saying. I can't steal it. That's his. Somebody around you who can help you is always watching you. That's why it's so important that you show up. That's why it's so important that you show up. Write that down. Somebody who can help you is always watching you. So even when you feel like they're not, they're watching, because we're inside of this group and she's talking to shout out to Steve. And she was the things that she was saying. I'm like, okay, I did that 3 years ago. Right. So, but
Sherri and her facial expression.
And she's like, yeah, I'm learning how to do this. But here's the thing. There wasn't a strategy. There wasn't a system. So now you get your 2K. Now you're convinced. Now you go home and you prove to your husband that you can do it. Y'all, we want to see who is ready. We want to see, we're not even going to waste. I want to see who is ready. If you're the type of person that's been in Kiwana's situation, go ahead and hit favors right in the chat right now. Favors. You're the person that you want Kiwana or myself to reach out to you. Go ahead and hit favors in the chat right now, because you're like, listen, this is it. I'm done with all this. We want you to comment favor in the chat. We'll make sure that we reach out to you, because we don't want anyone to get off this chat and not be served. So that's so now you got your 2K. Now you're convinced that it's not a hoopla.
That I'm worth it.
That you're worth it, right?
Right.
You're worth it. Yeah. And it wasn't my effort, it was your effort. So now that you're convinced, now tell us about you convinced us. So now your eyes are open that you can. Now that your eyes are open that you can, tell us how you created. Now that ideas start coming to you, idea juice started coming to you. So go ahead and tell us how you came up with your bingo card after. So now you're walking in a different light.
Yes. So now it's like, if I may, can I tell them what the $2,000 did though?
Oh yeah, sure. It's your work, baby. I'm
Okay,
just a part of it.
because because it actually gave me a day to breathe, because we get in the hustle and bustle and the cycles, and we get into the going, and I'm going and I can't take a break. And God's thing that night to me was, you need to rest. You're the
Mm,
employee. You're going over. You need to rest. When that $2,000 came in, I was like, wow, I actually can take 2 days for myself. It was different. And then so yeah, so that was the first part. And then now I was like, God, okay, what more can I do? And then driving into work, he was like, at Set for Increase, my main thing is being accountable. I hate when people poof people up and raise you, and you leave with all this great energy and then nothing is done. And so I'm riding into work one day, and I'm praising God, and God delivered something in my spirit, because let me tell you, now everything's clear. I had my days, I could see now.
because once
And
you do it once, it convince you that you can do it again.
yeah, you're convinced that you can just keep doing it. But he dropped in my spirit accountability. Let's show the people how much they can really save. Let's show the people how much money is all around them. And let's show them, not by the big numbers, because you sit in these things. Oh, if you just had,
Correct.
1,500 to invest. Let's show them how the small numbers can make the biggest impact. I mean, because people who are 45 years old, 60 years old, 30 years, they come to me, and I always ask, okay, so what do you have in your savings? Well, I haven't saved up anything. Okay, nothing, and it grieved my spirit. So when God dropped this down, he was like, you're going to show people how quick and easy it is to get your first $1,600. And then there's going to be some people who may think that, okay, I can get $2,500, just as simple, just as easy, with just these small amounts that pass them by. Because what typically happens is, especially when Sherri was talking about investing in yourself, you're
Mm-hmm.
quick to invest in someone else's name instead of investing in your own name, when you are your biggest financial asset. Don't miss
Ooh,
that.
stop right there.
So
Say it one more time. You are your biggest
you
financial
are your
asset.
biggest financial asset. We have to get into the mindset that we're not going to go give Walmart, nails, all this other type of stuff. We're not going to give them our money without first putting money down on who we
Wow.
are.
Wow, that's beautiful. That's an eye opener right there. Like that's beautiful. I remember you coming up with that bingo card, and that
Mhm.
bingo card was got you. Okay. Let me say this, y'all. So she had her first webinar, right? Her first web. So now she's in a new light. Now she's doing
Mhm.
webinars, and we went from marketing local to taking her online to
Online.
now
Mhm.
she online. Now she's doing her webinar, and her first webinar with how many people showed up
Like
to your
16.
webinar? 16
16.
people showed up on her webinar. So now this is a whole new, y'all. Some of you guys already did webinars. Some of you guys already did this. This is probably like not new to y'all. But for the record, let's be very clear that she switched to online. Online as a financial coach right before COVID. Like
Right.
right before
Right.
COVID. So there was
Like
something that was
December.
going on in the atmosphere. Don't miss this. So all my clients, they all were online. So they were prepared for COVID. We didn't know what we were prepared for, but they were prepared for COVID before we even know COVID was coming. So just imagine if she did not move from a face-to-face strategy, keyword, to an online strategy, to where one of the conversation Kiwana and I have, and she gave me respect to say, she said, I have 4 kids, Sherri. I don't know one successful person with 4 kids. And I said to her, well, successful person has to come from you. A successful person, there's going to be a lot of firsts this year, y'all. There's going to be a lot of firsts. And if you're not in alignment, you're going to miss that. You're going to be a lot of firsts this year. And when I said that to her, not knowing COVID would happen, not knowing and learning all these technology, not knowing all this stuff, she switched to online marketing. She switched to online just in time to reap the benefits that her business did not get impacted with COVID, because she would move from a face-to-face model to an online model, and just in time for COVID. So now she's online. Now you're doing your webinar, you're showing up, and you're selling Your bingo cards. Yes.
Bingo card.
So
Yes.
tell us about
And
bingo card. Tell us what it is, because some people may be interested in that.
so the bingo card is an easy way you can get to your first 1,600. Look, if you don't have any savings, if you are looking, if you are at night pouring through your savings, you have nothing. The bingo card will help you take $5, $10, $15, $20, easy, and get your money. So with the bingo card, what comes is a consultation with me so that I can find your $1,600. I took away all of the excuses. So if you don't even know, like I don't have no that words cannot even enter your mouth what you don't have, what you lack, because you're going to meet with me and you're going to get the nuggets you need. Okay, this is what you're going to put here so that you make your 1,600. And no one who's left my meeting has had under $5,000 shown to them where they can capture, and they have not spent a penny out of their going out fund or Starbucks fund or something like that. It's
So you're telling me I didn't have to adjust my lifestyle that I'm called to live. I didn't have to sacrifice, because that's what they teach you, right? Budget,
right,
finance,
right.
like, and there's nothing wrong with a budget, but the goal is it's supposed to work with you, not against you. So you're telling me I can still live my lifestyle in accordance to what I'm supposed to do, my abundance, my prosperity, without dropping those favors, because that was the biggest thing I have. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. The biggest thing I had with savings was it makes it seem like you got to sacrifice so much. There's always sacrifice in everything that you do, but I do believe in abundance and prosperity. So even when I got with Kiwana, because now what happened, y'all, I became her client. So she was my client first, and then she's so good at what she do that I became her client. And the first thing I tell her is, Kiwana, listen, I travel a lot. I'm getting ready to fly out in September. I travel a lot, and I don't want to be living. I like to go out. I don't want to be living that scarcity mentality. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
People, there are financial coaches that put you on this scarcity mentality. And I said to her, I said, no, I do not want to live that way. I said, give me my allowance for the week. And then and I want to know where my money go. And she literally did that. This is how our community is. It end up being flipping around. And she said something. She said everyone was able to save money up in the $1,600 range. But let me explain to y'all. If Kiwana didn't say yes to herself, and all the clients that she has been, do you know how many clients that you're able to have been able to walk through your door since we've been working together? Do you know how many? Because all of those clients, while she's thinking about the number, would not be impacted if Kiwana didn't say yes to herself. I hope y'all are watching this domino effect of blessing when one person say yes to their self. I'm not talking about saying yes to me. I'm just saying yes to anything in your life. When one person get impacted and their eyes are now open from is spiritual. I always, Dr. Stacey is one of have somebody who always follow, and she always says 70% spiritual and it's 30%. And it's 30% preparation. So it's 70% spiritual, and we don't want to practice. Excuse me, it's 30% practical. So what does that mean? That means the reason why your last coaching didn't work, or you were moving with the practical, not with the spiritual. The reason why the last coaching didn't work, because you were moving with the spiritual, not the practical. You actually need both. You actually need both of it to walk in the kingdom. This business is not mine. It's not Kiwana's. But watch how she's able, because she said yes to herself. That's why I said drop right now in the comments if you are ready to say yes to yourself in favors. Comment the word favors with an S, because it's more than one favor you get. Once she said yes to herself, now she got women saving money. I mean, I have one lady in the group that she trying to buy her bands, her saving for her bands. And every day it's like she's saving a whole bunch of money. But once she said yes to herself, it create a domino effect of blessings for other people. So if she didn't say yes to herself, these other women would not have been blessed. I hope y'all are following that. Go ahead.
Since then, I've met 11. And out of every person that goes through the program, not me, God is accelerating debt paid off within a year. He's accelerating the first cars are being paid. Cars are being paid off. That's one of the debts that people don't talk about. I'm like, it is blowing my mind. And then bingo, people are flipping bingo cards like it's hotcakes. they're popping the 1,600, and then I look up and then they got another card for 1,600, and then they're popping another card for. I'm like, oh my goodness! And within 60 days, this lady has saved 32. No, what's 16 times 3? 34. No, 44. Y'all help me out in the chat. I mean, I'm 4,400 within the first 60 days, where she told me she was never able to save a dime on any corporate job. Working a 9 to 5, she never saw any savings, yet within 60 days, 4,400.
What could you do with $4,400 right now? We're talking about somebody who doesn't have a 9 to 5. She is her own boss, and she still was able to save that. Whenever I talk about 2K revenue attraction factor, the 2K is for 2K, right? So when we talk about that, Kiwana clients are saving more than Kiwana's investment. Do y'all see that? The biggest thing that my coach have issue with me is because thinking I should raise the price, because our clients, the ones, unless you just started joining, you haven't been in your 90 days yet, all of them has made more than 2K. So my coach even getting on me like, when are you going to raise the price? But the price is not about me. The price is about you convincing yourself. Can you do it? You can. It's not about the person. When that plate pass in church, and I ain't gonna give them. That's between you and God. That's a private conversation between you and God. You're not hurting anyone. You're not stopping any blessing over here, because it's a promise to yourself to see, can you truly do it? It's when I paid Robert and Tony Robbins and all them for their and attend their events and all this stuff, and I'm dropping 10K there and all this stuff. It's between me and Tony Robbins, or me and them, that I'm dropping that money, right? So it's up to me, because it's a partnership. It's a partnership. So just imagine, y'all, if Kiwana did not, one, step into her purpose, follow the mythology. This woman that she's talking about that would save that $4,000 or more, that wouldn't happen. I don't want y'all to miss this piece, because we're getting ready to close out. That would not happen. That piece that would not happen. And then after that, few weeks later, she went from 2K to 7K. And so she's being blessed. Her clients are also saving money and being blessed. Do y'all see the domino effect of blessing? This is what we want to cultivate in our community. This is what we want to see. And it all starts from you saying yes to yourself, yes to someone, yes to yourself. You thinking that you're worthy of one, raising your price, 2, following the spiritual, 3, following the practical. And so if you're dormant right now, you're feeling like I'm on the gas and on the brake all the time, that is because you need a community of people that can help you think. You need a community of people that you can say yes to yourself, that motivate you. There are days some ladies may not feel like working today, and we are able to get around each other. So it's a community. I brag about the community all the time in our 2K revenue attraction factor. So if it's you and you're saying, I need to be in another community where we're talking about God, and we're talking about money, and we're talking about breaking belief systems, and we're talking about revenue strategy. We're talking about what your daily routine should look like consistently to generate that revenue. And we're talking about be good steward of your money when you do get your 2K or more. This is 2K revenue attraction factor. Go ahead and drop favor in the link right now. Now, Kiwana, tell us more about where we can get more information from you, or anything else you want to share with our people before we head on out.
Okay, you can find me at set number 4 increase, or you can just simply DM me. I have my own Facebook group called S4I Family, but you can also find that over at set 4 increase. I wanted to just go ahead and say this, because Sherri knows there's been so many breakthroughs with me, because I literally, I pray my way through this thing, right? One of the biggest poems that has affected my life is the poem that is Our Deepest Fear. Mm-hmm. And when Sherri was like, girl, let everybody know what you made. You remember this, Sherri? You're like, let everybody know. This is another one.
Y'all see how many breakthroughs? Okay, hold on. Listen, So Kiwana, whenever we celebrate, right? There's not a lot of space where you can make money and people feel comfortable. This is why I created Faith, Favor, and Finance. There's not a lot of space where you can celebrate your wins, right? Your financial wins. Girl, I got 37,000. Girl, I got 39,000. There's not a lot of space where you have that, where people don't say, who does she think she is? Or who does she think she are? When you broke, it's okay to say you're broke. But when God has blessed you with something, you have to keep quiet. There's a different motivation there. Hello. I rejoice when I'm going through problems. I rejoice when God has given me a breakthrough, financial breakthrough. I rejoice when he has impacted someone's life. So one of the rituals that we do in the group is celebrate the person who received their first 2K. So Kiwana went days without reporting it. And why did you do that, Kiwana?
Yes. Here we go again. I'm telling you, everybody needs a Sherri in their life. Everybody needs a Sherri, especially when you want to change your mindset. It's a difference when you just don't and you're comfortable. Remember we talked about earlier, when you want to. She was like, "Why are you afraid?" And God had to sit and wrestle with me again. And it's that our deepest fear. Let me tell you something. Your thinking small really does not change the world. I constantly send Sherri messages, keep going, because by you walking in your purpose, it automatically does liberate me to walk in mine, just by you being who you are. So my thinking small, that I don't have to share it, or that's me bragging, or, because I'm not a bragger, I'm a server. He's like, who are you serving? What does that do for you? It doesn't. So if you continue to low value yourself, if you continue not to invest in yourself to go to the next level, then you are not serving the purpose. And we all have a responsibility to God to return value, to return interest on his gift and talent that he's given us. So your small thinking does not serve anybody. What it does is it gets your business closed, and then you can't trust anybody with what you've given. So he had to deal with, I'm a work in progress, guys. I'm not ashamed to admit
you made your 2K, you made your 7K and counting, and you're still you're convinced now that God can do it, because you made more than you've already invested already. But I want to also go back to, because you see my account, my account, and I wanted to talk about when we say favors. We talk about faith. That was faith. Now we talk about favors. I remember the time when we were working on my lifestyle, and I have my budget of how much I want to spend or make per day or whatever. Right. And we were short, y'all. We were short $1,200 because I decided that I was going to do something. And Kiwana is like, okay, how are we going to get this money back? But when God tell me to do something, when God tell me to move, I move, right? That's a discrepancy that I have between sometimes with my mind, because honey, we've invested in programs. Soon as you pay the money, car broke down. Come on, y'all know what I'm talking about. Give me a 3 in the chat if you know what I'm talking about. You're putting an investment in something, and the investment could be buying a new car or buying something, and this broke down and that broke. The kids need this and the kids need, right after you made the investment. And to me, that's a test of how bad do you want it? Why not you? Right. How bad do you want it? So I made this investment, right? And I made an investment. I called Kiwana. I said it was good, but what I didn't tell her that I have real estate, and I didn't tell her that there are 2 checks that was coming out that she wasn't aware of. So now she's like, okay, Sherri, looking at my finances, like, well, you're $1,200 short on where you want to be. Right. And what happened, Kiwana? Because we want to talk about favors. And this is what happens when you are, this is why I struggle with where we say, okay, you got to make sure you're following the calling of God, but you also got to watch your books. But your bank account should never determine, and I understand what I'm saying, because I know my financial coach is going to go crazy. With Janae, you're going to go crazy when I say this, but it should not be your final effect of making decisions. You're coming from somebody who had a 430 credit score, overdraft my account 10 times in 1 month, divorcee, single mother. So try me and I test me and I tell you, honey. So we're coming from that, right? We're coming from all those type of stuff that I've been through. And God has released me and saved me from that. I'm not ashamed of where he's brought me from. So with that being said, we're in the conversation. She's like, Sherri, you're short $1,200 because you use that money to do something else. And I said, girl, go ahead, because I want you to tell it.
She was like, girl, let me So she said, "This is what I have," in the middle of our meeting, because we
I said, God
both
will
are
provide. Don't forget to say that. I said,
right.
God will
God,
provide.
girl, you gotta provide. And so I'm up here like, okay, Sherri, all right. So I said, but I have to be realistic too. So I have to also be practical,
Mhm.
and I have to also, I understand my faith,
I'm
and
the
my faith is
spiritual, she the
strong.
practical.
Right. And it's like, but for my clients, I have my due diligence. I have to let you know where your numbers lie. And it's, girl, God did provide it. I told you he's gonna provide it. And right then and there, the exact amount we needed showed up time, on time, and on purpose. God has you. As long as you're doing his will,
He
as
has
long as you're taking care of
you.
his house,
Yes.
he has
He
you.
has you. Yes. Let me tell you. So I said, Kiwana, share screen with me, because we were on Zoom, and that share screen with me, and someone came in and said, hey, listen, I'm sending you $1,200. That person don't even know that we were short
We were
that
in the
1,200.
meeting,
And when we
right?
say short, we're saying short as in where my thermostat, remember I talk about it in my group,
Right.
where your money thermostat need to be. And I said, Kiwana, because if I tell you, you're not going to believe me. So let me show you how the favors of God on your life. And this is not about, because I know people get comfortable when you're trying to sell something and using God. Honey, I am unapologetic about. My girlfriend Jackie said, I can love God and still ride a Bentley. I'm good in that place. I'm free from that part. So I said, Kiwana, I said, look, I said, someone just said, send me an invoice, and it just showed up. It just showed up last night
Right
or 2 nights ago. I was blessing this lady who has this book about prosperity and Proverbs. Never met her a day in my life. Sent her $23. Right after that, PayPal sent me back $25. 3 minutes in between. This is what I mean by favors. When money leaves you, it never leaves your hands. Dr. Stacey always say
right.
it circulates. And these are just, when you're inside of our group, these are the celebrations. So it's not even just about, it's celebration of you're getting featured in a magazine, the celebration of you're on channel, the news media, it's celebration. It's not just about celebrating of money. We just celebrate you, because we know it takes a lot, especially in our Black community, a Black woman to say, we know the struggle sometimes is hard for us, right? To get to where we need to go because of the support system, but we don't see struggle. We really don't see, we see opportunity, because there's always opportunity in a crisis. Y'all, if this is good, go ahead and give me a high five in the chat. High five in the chat. If you're learning something, we're getting ready to wrap up right now. We're at the hour, the top of the hour. But I just wanted to share with you what we talk about: favor, we talk about faith, we talk about finances. And go ahead and give me a 5 in the chat if this is something that you feel that this is something to your heart. And if you feel like this is where you need to be in the circle of women that you need to be in our 2K community, I would love for you to join us. All you have to do is hit favor. Yes, it's a mastermind. Go ahead. I'll let you.
Yeah, our 2K, I cannot keep saying enough about it. I mean, you have family, you have sisters, you have, just when you're feeling low, you can still jump on there. You can let us know how you're feeling. We're encouragers. We really help push each other to the next level. We, if somebody's feeling down, one of us grabs, oh, we got it. It's a true sisterhood. And I just love our 2K group on Wednesdays.
And if you're missing, the high touch, I think, is the best. If you're missing,
yes.
They're like, where are you? There's always somebody that's looking for you if you're missing. Or, all right, Kiwana, anything you want to leave us with before we end out? Any final words that you want to say to us to be encourage us as we take it on out?
Just go after your God-given authority, guys. Don't let finances stop you. Just go hard. Get with the Holy Spirit about what you need. Get in prayer, stay consistent, and get a coach. I'm not going to lie. Get a coach. You need it. We all struggle. We all have our issues. Get a coach. That's about all.
Awesome. Now, guys, do you have any questions for Kiwana before we head on out? Sherri says, I did not celebrate my first $300 client, and she told me it's better information than she received from her gaining her MBA. So I know I have the ability to attract my clients and have the money to afford my high-end service if I want to achieve financial goal. Yes, Sherri, yes. Notice what Sherelle, excuse me, I apologize. Notice what Sherelle says. She says her $300 client says that she got more information than her MBA gave her. It's more information. Stephanie says, Wow, that is favor indeed. Great testimony. Thank you, Stephanie. I got a whole bunch of stuff, honey. I got a whole bunch of testimony. Yes, yes, of how where God has brought me from. I thank you for that. I thank you for Stephanie catch one of my grammar, which you will always see all of that, baby. Because you know you're coming from somebody who was born in Jamaica, Jamaican and Chinese, speaking another language, and I was like, oh my God, I'm afraid to put myself out there, honey. But then when you get to the point, you realize that's people don't care about you. People want to know, do you have what I need so I can generate revenue and impact lives? So it's time for you to make an income while making an impact. Kiwana, thank you so much for your time. I know your time, I want to respect it. So guys, if you have any questions for her, I didn't see any questions in the chat. Janae said, listen, I'm all in. The favors of God is real. Yes. She said she's so amazing. Her heart is golden. Yes, Janae, thank you. Great job. Great job. And if you want us to reach out to you, go ahead and hit the word favor in the chat and we'll be in your inbox with a private inbox to see if we're a good fit. All right. We'll talk to you later. Have a great day. It's your girl, Sherri Somers, your revenue master life coach. Talk to y'all later.